got to do some photos, but we got John's knife. John, your knife is done.
Put it back in for safety purposes.
Ready? Yeah, put it back in the sheath for safety purposes. So, ultimately, what ends up happening now is you get a stool, you sit down, and you tell somebody about their knife. But it's really not mine to tell, is it? Let's put the spotlight on. Let me open up the chair to the person that actually made the knife. There we go. So, I'm behind the camera now. There we go.
It just feels odd.
This feels odd. There we go. There we go. Okay, let me pull this back here. Here we go. All right. Okay, I'm on camera too now. Okay, first and foremost, I'll start out. John, we met John at Joshua's Men earlier in 2018, and I brought some knives. I brought the Joshua's Men Santoku there. I'll put a link above or something like that for the previous video on that. And a little event that we did. It was pretty cool. While we were there, Ben brought his knife that he'd first made, him and I together. Ben had about 60 or 70% input on that knife, meaning that's what he used. Sorry, not what he used, what he made. 60 or 70% of his first knife. And then the rest, I contributed. This knife actually is about 90% Ben and only 10% me. Ben did the taper tang. He did all the shaping, the hand sanding. He did the leather tooling. I did the blade profile, the rough blade profile, and I did the 2 pieces of Kydex. That was it. Ben did everything else. But John actually met us there at Joshua's Men, and John asked if Ben could be commissioned for a knife, and said yes. So this is actually Ben's first commission blade he has ever done for anybody. So it's pretty cool. So tell them like the steel, the wood, the what you did and stuff like that.
So the steel I use is D2 steel. It is dressed with a grade A Cocobolo.
Yep.
With custom pins from Alexi.
And what's the custom pin?
JS for John Stearns.
That's right.
And it's flanked by 2 1/8-inch brass pins. And let's see, it's a Montana.
It's the Montana series that I make. A lot of you guys are familiar with that, seeing them on my channel here.
The sheath is...
Is that chestnut? Or
chestnut,
the raptor skin?
Chestnut raptor skin. And this is a leather belt loop. It's adjustable, and I hand tooled this myself.
We also have to where that belt loop and everything could come off. And then if John wants, he can actually use the Blaytech Tech Lock to attach it. So John can carry it horizontally. He can carry it across the backpack strap. He can carry it tight and vertically against his body. The best thing about this is you could always cut the leather short and then punch a couple extra holes if you really wanted to shrink the leather belt loop even more. Kind of like your belt. If you had a bigger belt and you're losing weight, you could punch a couple extra holes. So there's always those options that are pretty nice with people when we give them something like this. Taper tang, right?
Yep, taper tang.
Pretty good taper tang there. And the Cocobolo you mentioned. So
and the taper tang is not too thin. That's not too thick, so that's a good balance in the middle.
Yep. So pros, cons, what'd you learn out of this?
There were some hard times. One time I took my finger off, but that was a learning experience to hold into steel harder. And, some hard times like hand sanding. I do not like hand sanding because it just...
Yeah.
You're sitting there.
Like I said, guys, he did 90% of this himself. He did all the hand sanding. He shaped the scales. He did the pins. Everything was on Ben. This was the first one, but it took a long time because we had a lot of other things going on. Ben had a lot of other things pulling him in different directions, so that was pretty cool, though. But first and foremost, I guess, a big thank you, right?
Thank you, John Stearns, for ordering my first knife.
Yep, yeah, the first knife from John, so I do appreciate it. It's definitely something I never had the opportunity to do when I was 14 years old. Oh, yeah, did I mention, guys? 14 and a half years old, and that's his first knife. So we're putting pictures in this as we're talking. We're going to end the video with some photos, but thank you to all the subs. Appreciate it. To all the dads out there, you could probably attest that it's really important to kind of do things and pass something on to the kids. Teenagers can always be a little bit more challenging at times, but it works pretty good though. Really cool. So again, thank you to everybody that's been supporting CK Knife and Tool and my shenanigans here, also Facebook, Instagram, and everything. So, and another big shout out to John. So we do appreciate it. Until the next one, guys, you take it easy. Have a good one.
See you next time.
Keep us from the bottom of the YouTube bucket. That's what you're supposed to say. You guys have a good one.